Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us virtually today as we prepare to launch a new program that will benefit Wake County residents who are struggling to pay their utility bills due to COVID-19. As we all know, the pain and stress of the virus are very real, and we see it in so many ways, physically, mentally, and economically. In May, you may remember us sharing the unemployment rate 7.5%. And that's a significant number, but I think it's more important when we think about the people behind those numbers. Behind that number are thousands of people who are now jobless or who have experienced significant cutbacks to their hours or pay because of COVID-19. And as a result, many of them can't afford to pay their utility bills. In the city of Raleigh, for example, roughly 10,000 customers owe $125 or more on their water bills. And Duke Energy says that close to 13,000 customers owe a total of 5.1 million power bills since the coronavirus outbreak began back in March. So we have a few PowerPoint slides to help illustrate some I'm proud on behalf of the Board of Commissioners and Wake County government to announce the launch of a new program called WakeHELPS. And just as the name implies, its goal is to help Wake County residents pay their delinquent utility bills so the financial burden they're bearing due to COVID-19 is a little lighter. As a board, we've committed $5 million in federal CARES Act funding to this effort. So each qualifying household can receive up to $500 to pay off their overdue utility bills, $500. That means, by doing the math, we'll be able to help at least 10,000 households in Wake County. That's not this insignificant number. So we know that this program couldn't have come at a better time. Just a few days ago, as many of us know, the protections that the state put in place to keep customers' utility services in effect, even if they were late on their bills, went away. Now, Wake County residents know they have a safety net in WakeHELPS to keep their lights on and their water running, just basic necessities of life. So why is this important? Well, of course, maintaining utility service is critical now more than ever. COVID-19 has heightened the regular hand washing and increased cleaning, certainly. And you can't do these things if your water has been turned off. We're also in the midst of a summertime heat wave right here in the Piedmont of North Carolina, typical for this time of year. And almost daily, many of you, if you're like me, have signed up for these alerts. I get alerts on my phone warning me about the triple-digit heat index just about every day. So nobody should have to go without air conditioning when the temperatures are that high, because the effects could be dangerous and, as we know, also even deadly. So what is WakeHELPS again, and how does it work? So as we see it, WakeHELPS is kind of like a life raft for those trying to keep their heads above water financially during these troubled times. That's why we've made it easy to apply for assistance. So to qualify, there are 4 criteria. First, you have to be a Wake County resident. Secondly, you have to fall in a low to moderate income category, and we have those clearly defined. Third, you have to be impacted financially by COVID-19. And fourth and finally, you have to show proof that you're behind on your utility bills. The copies of bills you provide can be dated back as far as March the 1st, when the coronavirus outbreak first started. We had our first case here in Wake County back on March the 3rd, you may remember. And we'll accept applications through October or until the funding runs out. So the utility services eligible for assistance under WakeHELPS include electricity and water, natural gas, wastewater, and solid waste. So each household, again, can request relief for any or all of those services up to $500. So how do you apply? Well, if WakeHELPS seems like something you could benefit from, we encourage all residents in Wake County to apply. Starts by filling out a form, which you can access in several ways. First, you can visit our new webpage, wakegov.com/wakehelps, to access it, or you can call a phone number we have dedicated for this program, and make sure I have this number right. It is 919-212-0476. Again, 919-212-0476. Or you can pick up one of our in-person pamphlets at our Swinburne facility in Raleigh or the Eastern Regional Center in Zebulon. Again, we will accept one application per household at this time. And for those who qualify, the county will pay the utility companies directly the money they're owed, again, up to $500. We will not be sending money directly to residents. We believe this process is the most efficient and effective way to help alleviate the stress that some residents feel each month when they get their utility bills and must choose between paying them or putting food on the table for their families. So those are the basics. That's the information. Generally, we know you have questions, and so we want to transition to a Q&A period. So as we know, WakeHELPS is going to make a tangible difference for a lot of people in our community. I certainly look forward to working with our local partners, as I know the rest of the Board of Commissioners does, and working with you, especially the media watching us right now, to help raise awareness about it so we can start helping our neighbors in need. And I'm sure reporters and media folks that are joining us this morning have some questions I'd like to ask. To help answer them, I'd like to welcome some of the experts from Wake that are with us today. I'd like to welcome Wake County Manager David, Officer Emily Lucas, Human Services Director, Program Manager, Jenny Milor, and Communications Director Dara Demai to join me. Good morning, everyone. And Dara, would you mind sharing our first question with us?
Sure. So at this time, if any of our media friends have a question that they would like to ask, you just need to click on the button that looks like a bubble on your screen. That will take you to the chat area. When you get to the chat area, there's a space at the bottom where you can type in a message. Works similarly to an instant messaging program. And then that question will pop up on the screen, and then I will read it out to our panel. So while you all are doing that, I'll put forth a question that we have been asked by some of the people that we've talked about this program with, and Jeannie, I think you're the best person slated to answer that. Is we do have other assistance programs related to energy and cooling in the summertime. Will people be able to apply for those programs as well as WakeHELPS, or is it just one and only one?
Yes, they are actually able to apply for more than one program, and we will work with them to put those benefits together to maximize the resources that are available to them. And so our crisis program does help with the cooling cost, and we can work with the money from that program along with the WakeHELPS money to hopefully be able to resolve some of the larger balances that individuals have.
Great, thank you, Jeannie. And another question I think is probably a good one. What type of turnaround time once people apply for the funding should they expect to receive notice if they are eligible for it? And then how will they know when that payment has been made to the utility provider?
Once their application is processed, they will receive a letter that will let them know if they've been approved or denied and how much will be applied towards their account. It can take up to 30 days for the money to be applied to their account, but it depends on which vendor and payment source that we use. And if we have questions, we'll contact them as well to get additional information. And it'll depend on volume to how quickly we'll get to each application.
Okay, great. Amanda Johnson from the NNO has a couple of questions, so I'm going to take them one at a time. The first one is, what are the low to moderate income parameters, i.e. is it AMI or household? Either Emily or Janny, would you like to take that question?
Yes, the low to moderate income limits are based on the HUD guidelines, and we have the rates, and Pulling it up real quick. Okay, the amounts for a family of one, the amount is, sorry, okay, $39,540 for a household, and that's the annual income. For a family of four, it would be $56,460, and then it goes, for whatever their family size, we just calculate out their income and determine if they're eligible based on those parameters.
Thank you, Janie. And I think it's important to note too that we do have that as one of the questions in our FAQ. So if people are interested in seeing the full chart, you're welcome to go to our website, wakegov.com/wakehelps, and go to the FAQs at the bottom of that page, and you'll see a chart that shows what Jenny was just talking about. The second question for Manna is, are any local governments in Wake County adding money to this fund, or any local businesses?
Dara, I can take that question. And not at this time. We are only using the federal CARES Act funding, or what we call the coronavirus relief funds that the county received directly, which does allow us to use this money to provide emergency utility support services for those impacted by COVID-19.
Great, thank you. And then her third and final question is Wake County considering any property tax relief, especially given revaluation?
Yes, and I can take that question as well. We are currently not. One of the specific guidelines in the CARES Act guidance is that you cannot use these funds to replace property tax revenues or lost property tax revenues, which is one of the stipulations that we can't use this for that purpose. So even though that might be a program that would seemingly help our residents, the federal government has said that we cannot use the money for that purpose.
Great. Thank you, Emily. Well, those are all the questions that we have received in the chat. So I will turn things back over to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Dara. And thank you, everyone, for your questions. We certainly appreciate the media partnering with us to educate the community about WakeHELPS and the assistance it can offer. And thanks to those of you who are on the live stream now, and certainly for those of you in the future who may be watching this as it's being recorded and will be later posted online. We hope that you will join us in helping to spread the word about WakeHELPS too. And again, on behalf of Wake County government, we're very excited and pleased to be able to offer our residents this program. Really appreciate your time this morning. So until next time, stay safe and healthy, and have a great day, everyone.